Alright. Alright, hey guys. So, I'm just setting up the table again, or cleaning it off more or less. Got a couple tools kicking around, I don't need that stuff, but the multi-tool, pair of pliers. I don't know what the pliers are there actually, I don't remember. Probably pulling volley clips. My little 4-volt drill, a 2mm. I'm with the multi-tool on that. I should be able to just do just about everything. How'd you like that unboxing? I'm sure that was interesting and informative. Excuse me. So, I'm gonna get started on the build. I'm gonna go by the book. I like to do it that way, just so I don't miss anything silly. So it says to start with the tranny. Now the bags, some of the, excuse me. Some of the bags have been opened. Paul and myself and Aaron were looking at them when we first opened it up, so probably shouldn't have done that because now some of the labels are missing off the bags. But I gotta go look for tranny parts. So I moved the bag onto the bench just so I can continue to yak a little bit. I don't know how much different this is going to be. Oh, I don't know how different this is going to be from the sawback video. Shocks, get those away from me. I hate shocks. Front of the body, I don't need to do that. Someone else is painting this. That's such good news. Yeah, the tranny thing has been open for sure. There's part of the case. I know you're going to need some screws. There should be a screw bag loose here somewhere then. This is going to be fun. That looks like the right parts for that. Let's see, look at the picture. There's that, that thing. I should have another half of that though, right? There's that. Nope, that's a cover. The spur cover. Instructions and other parts of the slipper. Still searching for the other half of the case though. Skid plate. We'll deal with that when the time comes. The grease. I think that's part of the transmission too, it's like the upper half or something. It's weird how they... We'll talk to that when I get to it. I'll talk about that when I get to it. I'll probably talk to it as well. I don't like what they've done with the upper shaft. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about already, but I've only seen pictures of it in here. I haven't seen it. I've seen one on the trail, but I haven't seen whether... Well, it needs to prove its time, right? Like every truck that comes out on the market. Even the sawback, when I first got it, get in and drive it, I love it, but I had to drive it for a while to find out its weak points and stuff like that. And the weak point on the sawback is obviously the tranny. The diffs are new from a year ago, are still running from a year ago, and the tranny's been rebuilt twice, but it's $33 or something like that, I think, to rebuild the tranny. Anyways, all right, come over here. So we don't need that. We won't use that. Do use grease, but I'm going to use marine grease, so I don't know. Paul's going to want that back. Probably not. I doubt if he uses black grease either. So we got the plate, got the screws that I'm pretty sure we're going to need, all that jazz. So, alright, let me do some assembling here, and I will talk about this in a moment. Okay, so the plan was to talk about this bag next, but I got this together now, and this is a weird assembly. So I saw all this, I thought these sleeves are going to go into something. No, they're not sleeves, they're spacers. So the bearings are way apart at the end, on the ends of the shaft, while the gear is in the middle. Now, the gear is squared out in there as is a square on the shaft. So instead of using pins, it's like that. So as long as that gear holds up, that's going to be way stronger than a transmission with a pin in it. But this is interesting how the bearings are so far apart instead of being up close. But that's a pretty long shaft. I'm pretty sure it's the bottom shaft. All you have to do is, I guess, turn the page and find out what we're doing next. Yes, this is what I wanted to talk about. I don't know about this at all. It says to thread lock it in. Why didn't you guys make it one solid piece of steel with the thread out the end? I don't understand. Perhaps the thread wears and that makes it replaceable or something like that, but I don't like that. And E-clips. Every manufacturer, if you're going to listen to me about anything, get rid of E-clips. Find another way to do things. I hate clips. That's just me. Okay, so I got all this together now. So you put that clip in first. Then, I've got it just sitting on the edge. There's nothing holding it there, but that little spacer and the bearing are sitting on the end. Then I put that on, not realizing I was supposed to put that on first. Yes, there's a 1 and a 2. I didn't see it. Haha. But anyways, I got that on there now. And, man, I don't know how I feel about that. That's, to me, that could be stronger. They could have done a better job with that. But again, I don't know. To me, this is new and unproven, so I don't know yet. But that's just in there slightly, so that's just a plastic bearing or plastic bushing they got between the E-clip and the metal gear here that's being held or stops from twisting on the shaft by a pin. So they went with the square part
and a square innard for the bottom shaft that I think is going to be quite solid. But then they did this here. I don't know. I think there's too much going on. I don't know yet though. Again, this is going to be a new thing for me. This setup that they have on here. They just slipped the other bearing on there now and turn page, and then it's the assembly of the tranny. So I'm going to go ahead and do the assembly of the tranny. It's nothing too new to you guys, I don't think, but there's certainly, in my opinion, there's a lot of these spacers going on in this thing, and it just seems like there's just so much going on inside the transmission once the grease starts to fill with dirt and water and whatnot, because the guys I all go with, we all go in the water constantly, right? Trannies are going to get water in them. It's going to happen. I'm just thinking that this is going to seize up or wear out faster than another tranny. But again, I don't know. This is just speculation. Time will tell. Okay, so Paul just called. He's on his way over. He's got the last bag open. I missed this one when I was getting stuff ready earlier. Hey, look, dog hair. Imagine that. Something weird going on. You've got this little black thing. It's like almost looks like a sticker or something. But you see it in the picture. I don't know what that's about. I think that's just plain old weird. I need to maybe go online. See, you see it stuck on the bottom there. I wonder if it's anti-vibration or something, or it evens out the bottom. It's gonna go right there. I guess it evens it out. I don't know. That's just weird. I gotta figure that out. It shows it like going into the bottom of the tranny there, but it's not where it goes. It actually goes into the slightly upper. So I was trying to get it in there because that's what it looked like in the picture, but it actually goes up into that spot there. So I got the other side of the tranny case there, and that part's got a flat spot on it. You see? I don't know if you guys can see that or not, and it's got the hole for it there. It's slotted, so I don't understand the purpose of it yet, other than helping to align the tranny when putting it together, maybe. And as you can see, it's still dry. I haven't greased it yet. I'm just doing a dry fit right now to make sure I assembled it correctly, and then I'll take it apart again and grease it. So the tranny went together just fine. So I'm just going to throw some grease in there now. Good old marine grease. This is what I use in all my trannies and diffs, and on some of my friends' windshields. Good stuff. I also grease the shafts of my boats with that. Alright, we'll give the slipper a quick overview. Metal inner and outered, solid feeling spur, who knows, 48 pitch. 86 tooth with a 14 tooth. Oh my, that's pretty tiny. We're getting a DeWalt in here. I would say jack that up to 16 or 18, but I don't know the gearing of the truck, right? Even if I did know, I wouldn't be able to calculate the speed of it anyways. Let's see. Well, it's going to go together like that, right? Slap all that together. Chances are I'm not going to put the spur cover on. We'll leave that up to Paul. I don't see a reason for it. The motor screws are there. Yada, yada, yada. Onward. Alright, so Paul was just here, and he was saying that he's got a set of MIPs he wants to throw on it, because it's basically the same wheelbase as an SCX-10, right? We were out playing with the tracks. But the way the, I need to get further here. Yeah, the way the assembly goes, the drive shaft actually comes through. I believe it's going to be that piece there. It actually comes through the diff housing, and then the gear gets screwed on with a bearing to the end of the shaft. So I haven't really thought very much about the toughness of it or durability of it, but I don't know, the monopoly of itself, I guess you would call it, almost, that it's tough to make anything else work with it. Although I don't know what else is out there for it. There could be a set of Junfac drive shafts out there for it, or something already that I'm unaware of, or somebody else makes them. It's just that out of the box, you think you'd have a stub on the axle, you know, so you can run some MIPs, but maybe they're going to come up with their own stuff. Alright, I got to get to the building some axles here. Alright, so this is quite different. I don't know if it'll focus in on there well enough, but it's like a little key ring that goes around and holds that pin in place. So I got one on there. Get a little brighter here. So I got one on there. So it was simple enough to get on there. I don't know if it's an issue in the future how easy it'll come off, but it was on there simple enough. It only used my fingernail. I didn't need a tool, but Yeah, that's different. All right. So I got the headlamp on now. That should help. So I'm going to try and show you how I did this. It's difficult with this angle. I didn't do it exactly like this last time, but you just pop that over with your fingernail and then spin it. Ooh, let it go. It slowly comes over. There it is. It snaps in there. That's, I think they call it a CVD. But yeah, building and building. Don't forget to use Loctite. Okay, now, this is interesting as well. Now, when I say interesting, it's because it's not the same as an axial, which I'm totally used to, right? A little bit of the sawback now. But, so anyways, the other end, same kind of thing, barrel and pin combo. Or CVD, I think it's called. Again, I've never been good with technical terms, and don't watch my channel for that, I tell you what. Come on, get in there. Should have done this first. The pin's through. Okay, there. The pin's through. Okay, so that's ready to be clipped. Alright, so that's the end that's going to go inside the shaft. That's going to go in there, and then a couple more bearing and gear and stuff are going to go through there. I just wanted to show that end off. It's square metal again with the thread in there. But that pin, it's going to be held on by a bearing. So that slides over there. And that's going to get inserted into the drive shaft. Or into the axle housing, sorry. Come on, get in there. Nice and snug too. Alright. So, now I just got to get the other bearing in there and Loctite that sucker in there. Alright, so that's in there now. It's screwed in there. Loctite, of course. It'll get greased in a bit. I usually don't grease till I assemble once, then make sure everything works smoothly, and then take it apart and grease it. But, coming along as they line up. So there's the cap. Yeah, this way. So here's the cap and how it's going to line up with the diff, right? And if you roll that over, those things go right over that fat part. So it's not going to be touching it, but I guess when these bearings die out, maybe this will act as a bit of a safety or something like that. Well, that's going to go over there like that and just get screwed in right after we get some grease in there. Good morning, guys. It's like 7 a.m. I got aggravated with myself last night because, well, some of the bags were open, so I didn't put stuff in order, wasn't putting stuff together in the right order, which I didn't think mattered, but it turned out it did. The one axle is narrower than the other, which I didn't know before I started, so I had to switch the link mount from one truck to the other. Actually, it looks like I stopped halfway through, but I got to screw that on and blah 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 and get that going, and yeah, we will continue on. We'll get this done. Look, more spacers. I hate spacers. Things are coming together, but there are a lot more parts to this than a SCX-10 or a sawback kit. That's all I have to compare it to. As usual, that's what I'll be doing. Alrighty, guys, plugging away. It's daylight out. The sun's coming up. I don't know what time is it. 9:15. All those things are built. The axles and all the fun steering parts. So I was just going to mention that it's got that cross member that goes across the top of the shock hoops. Nice touch. It's going to make it stronger. These shock hoops are definitely beefy. I got to tell you though, there's more parts to this than any other kit I put together. It might be worth it at the end. I don't know. We'll see how tough it is. I've seen one on the trail already in Edworthy. Yeah, it took a pretty good beating that day. Not too many negative things to say, but hey, I'm still trudging along. Okay, I've been building away for hours. I probably should have picked up the camera more often, but we got the ESC plate is in there, the cross members, the shock hoops, we got that bar in there, the tranny is mounted, we got Paul's over here, yay, with some new shocks for it from RC 4-wheel drive, I believe.
Yep, Kings.
King off-road shocks.
You bet.
90
mils.
I had some trouble with chassis distance. I didn't read the book. Well, read the book. Chassis length with length is important. Anyways, we're getting to the point now where we're putting in the lower links for the front and rear, starting with the front, and this pin goes in.
Here, show it again.
To get this grub is going to go into this hole right there and right there. So where it goes across, that's what's going to hold this pin in place. That is very strange. That's just not normal for what we're used to dealing with. But yeah, that's their design. So we're going to go with it, of course. But yeah, that's different. All right, boys and girls, that's pretty much the thing there. Whew, that was a lot. You see the sliders? They have a spacer in them, and then they're screwed together at the outside. There's spacers and everything. See, this thing's still on there. I guess there's multiple ways of doing the suspension. Because that thing's on there, and I guess it doesn't need to be. Hopefully it doesn't cause a problem. If not, it's quickly removed anyways. The electronics aren't in it. ESC is going to go there. Battery, I guess we can zip tie down there. I haven't quite sure what's going on over there yet, because where is that battery tray? Here it is. I don't know where it's supposed to go, because there's nothing on the bottom that clicks into those, unless there's a bracket or something I'm missing. I guess I could look at that, but maybe make it happen back here somewhere, or just zip tie it down to the chassis, or no, cross there ain't going to happen because the panhard's in the way. Servo's going to go there, but maybe there's still a chance of putting a battery up there, but oh man, and there's spacers in the bumpers. It seems really solid though. I really like the bar across the top. The shock screws end up going through there. It boggled me earlier about how to get those through there. I still got to put the body posts in. They're actually with the body. I guess I won't be putting those in. The body's gone to Sean at Ogden RC. I don't know what color he's going to paint it, but there you have it, boys and girls. The Vaterra K5 Ascender. It's quite the build. More complicated than an SCX-10 or Sawback, but every time I build something, I kind of have too many expectations for it to be just like an SCX-10. But the build was alright. I made a few errors because I didn't follow the book close enough. With the changeable wheelbase, you have to go with a wheelbase number 4 if you don't catch that little blurb in the book. Yeah, because the way it's set up. See if you can get a look at those holes. Yeah, you see those holes there? See, I'm at wheelbase number 4, and there's 3, 2, depending on where you put the chassis ladders set at. So then you have different lengths. You may or may not need 2 spacers or 1 spacer or 66 mil. They come with 2 different sizes of shafts. You have to get the right shaft in there. But anyways, that's about it. So this is Paul's rig, T-Rex. I don't know if I'll get one or not. If I do, I think it'll be the RTR, because that was... I built a few kits now, and I don't know. Maybe I won't be building too many more. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But there you have it. Any questions, leave them below, guys. I'll try to answer as best I can. It's going to get a DeWalt. Comes stock with a 14 tooth, which is quite small, but I don't know the gear ratios. We got to get it out there and give it a try with the stock setup, and then just go from there. Paul's got an AE5 ESC to go in it. Tracks our high-tech digital waterproof servo right there. I took it out because it was getting in the way of the panhard. The way I had it sitting in there, it was sitting in there incorrectly. So we'll get that in there properly. Yeah, that's about all I can think of right now. Maybe this chassis with those shock hoops with SCX-10 axles and tranny could be in the future, Paul was saying. But we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm a little tired. I'm going to have myself something to eat and then probably take a nap, because tonight is Crawler Ted's CTG Christmas special doohickey over his garage. So I'm going to go over and wreck myself with that. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching.